What does this move mean for Trey in your eyes?
Well, I mean, it's a statement that, you know what, Trey, we're prioritizing competition over feelings, and I think that's a great statement too. You know, Joe Montana's best football came with Steve Young looking right over his shoulder. Steve Young's best football came with Joe looking over his shoulder. They actually both had a situation where they got a chance to play. Both of them would admit now, years later, that it brought out the best in them. Competition is the foundation piece that brings out the best in people. And now you're going to see the best of Trey because he's going to have to compete for everything he gets. So I think it's going to make him better in the long term. Maybe in the short term, he's got to look over his shoulder. But guess what? It's the NFL. So what? You know, it's not a big deal. Trey's got the right mindset and maturity for it. He's going to get there, but it may not be this year. And or if it is this year, it may not be linear. It may be something where he takes 2 steps and maybe he has an injury. Maybe there's a backslide. Now you're not wasting your Super Bowl window trying to let Trey get up to speed. Let's be honest, Grant, it's not really fair to drop the expectations of this franchise in this kid's lap as a 22-year-old in his first full year in the NFL. And now essentially they're giving him a little bit of an insurance policy, and I think that will help him.
Respectfully, I'm going to disagree with you on this, but we'll see what happens. The way I look at this is they're trying to sell us that this is the next Josh Allen. Toolsy guy, inexperienced, with the right coaching and environment, he can become a top 5 quarterback like Josh Allen. Well, there's been differences in the development process. With Josh Allen, again, he went to a first-year coach, and he wasn't on trial with every play, every practice, every throw, every drop back. He wasn't under that kind of scrutiny. It was like, well, we moved on from Tyrod Taylor. He's not here anymore. It's your team. Let's grow together. That's not what's happening here. With every move, every step Trey takes, they are watching him because they have to decide. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we ready to go from Jimmy? It's not like they're even moving on from a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's a mediocre quarterback, and they're still hesitant to move on. I don't see how Trey can really become Josh Allen if they're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, like, what if they bench him after a month because they're 2-2? I don't see how he can ever become that. And maybe he's never going to be Josh Allen, but it seemed like for him to hit this ceiling that he was supposed to have, you'd have to like give him a vote of confidence at some point. I don't know. We'll see. It worked for Steven. But from Steve's perspective, it's like, okay, fair enough. It's the greatest quarterback of all time. I get it. It's Jimmy. You don't have confidence in me to be better than Jimmy? That hurts. I think that hurts.
Well, sorry. I mean, it's a different situation. Steve was in his, he was late 20s, right? Or maybe early 30s.
Right.
And Montana was obviously the king, where you're right. Garoppolo's got this odd popularity, but he's hardly the king. He's a flawed quarterback. It's much more of an open competition, I think, than that was. But I think overall, I think it's good for Trey. I think it takes the pressure. First of all, we talk about Josh Allen. Josh Allen didn't emerge until the 3rd year.
That's right.
Joe Montana was a 79 draft pick. He didn't even get on the field until 81. So to ask Trey in year 2, just because it's the modern NFL and we want everything faster, isn't necessarily fair to him. Now, I think that he's going to be a hell of a quarterback, but I think having competition is a good thing. I also think it's kind of tells everybody, we don't care about the media circus. It's great for guys like us, by the way, because now we have literally this unbelievable front and center NFL, soap opera going on in our backyard every day. But I don't know. I personally think that maybe Garoppolo and Trey are the right personalities at the right time to be able to handle this. Maybe even better than Joe and Steve did, really.
I just feel like there's a parallel universe where the Niners got rid of Jimmy Garoppolo as soon as they got Trey Lance, and Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch put all of their confidence behind Trey, not just saying the right things, but actually showing their confidence in Trey. And I'd love to know, like, what would Trey Lance be like now in that universe as opposed to what the Niners have done, which is the exact opposite? I guess we'll never know. But it's interesting. And again, it's not like he's a bust. It's not like this means he's going to have a bad year or that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to start. He could be the freaking MVP. It's just right now it seems like, what does this mean? It doesn't feel – I would think if I were Trey, I'd be like, you're kidding me. To me, I would think privately, he's like, "You're kidding me. Are you kidding?" I'd be pissed. Privately.
Well, yeah, I can understand that too because it plays like, well, you failed. It's
And it
just
makes me look bad publicly. Like I failed. Yeah, I failed. Yeah, I
well,
had
but
this
I mean,
competition against no one, and I failed.
let's ask this question. When they drafted him out of an FCS school with the least number of throws in 40 years of the first round of the NFL draft, no quarterback had less experience. What was a realistic time frame for him to ascend to whatever he's going to be?
And what did Jed say, right? What did Jed say? If he has to sit on the bench for 2 years, so be it.
Yeah. So, the fact is, I still look at him as way significantly ahead of schedule. But I mean, this is the toughest job in sports. And I think he's going to beat out Jimmy, and Jimmy's going to be traded in October. That's what I think is going to happen, because I think the 49ers are hedging a little bit here because they've got so much on the table. But I also love the fact that they're going for the quarter. They're re-signing both quarterbacks because they're saying we don't care about the circus, we don't fear it, and our priority is to win the Super Bowl. I asked you this like several weeks ago. We talked about this one question. I said to you, if I gave you $100,000 and I put you in a casino and you could have Trey or you could have Trey and Jimmy, what would you take? And I think your argument was Trey because you wouldn't want the distraction. I look at it as it's a marathon, and you may need both quarterbacks to get there. To me, this strengthens the Ford. If I was holding a ticket right now on the Niners to win the Super Bowl, I feel way better today than I did yesterday.
Well, 4 months ago, they could have got rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, got rid of the distraction, and brought in a real backup quarterback. But they missed that opportunity. And so at this point, if the choice is keep Jimmy or get rid of him and just hope Nate Sudfeld can win a game or 2 or 3 for you, no, you got to keep Jimmy. That's why I made this bet. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what it means for Trey. Look, this is my final question before we move on. If Trey completed 70% of his passes in camp and his TD to INT ratio was 2-3 to 1, you think they would have done this with Jimmy?
That's a great question.
I guess we'll never know. But you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. It does kind of feel like Trey missed an opportunity here to put this to bed.
Maybe there is a little bit of that, but it's also the NFL where guys get hurt. And you have and it's not like you're always going to be in this position. They have a stacked Super Bowl ready to win roster in a lame year for the NFC. I mean, I don't see any contender in the NFC. Now it's just about get in that postseason tournament. And if you have 2 quarterbacks and Kyle Shanahan and you get into the postseason tournament in the NFC, I think you got a great chance to go to the bowl. And if you do, you can't win the bowl that you're not in. So you got to get to the bowl. And then, who knows about the AFC, but I think this strengthens their chances of reaching Arizona. And I think that's the goal. And I think it's very clear. And I think the Rams going all in last year also makes this easier because now you've got that vision is, hey, you better be all in on winning the Super Bowl, or somebody else may be, and they may get it.
Well, the way I look at the NFC is the Rams have an issue with Stafford's elbow. That's real. The best team in the NFC might be Minnesota. I think they were a terribly coached team with a lot of talent, and now you have basically the Rams coaching staff plus Ed Donatel. I'm intrigued. Plus, they're in a terrible division. Dallas and Philly are good. It's wide open. It's absolutely freaking wide open. Green Bay's down. Tampa's down. I mean, they've lost a lot of offensive linemen. So, yeah.
The Niners have the best roster in the conference, I think. I mean, look how loaded they are. They're in my mind, they're 11 deep on the D line. That's the best linebacking core, top to bottom in all of football. They're deeper on the corner now. They're deeper on the O line.
I just can't get over the fact that they have like 1 starting caliber offensive lineman, maybe 2, depending on what Mike McGlinchey's at.